Welcome to Cadence Rose. Today we're going to be making our best-selling soap. We have a couple of soaps that do really well, but this soap is our best-selling soap. This is our orange turmeric salt bar. So this soap is something that sells all year round, and it is coming up towards the holidays, especially for a soap maker. I want to make sure I get this ready and stuff and plenty of time for the holidays. We're going to be making 100 bars of this soap today. Our orange turmeric salt bar is of course made with orange essential oil. This is orange 5-fold essential oil so that the scent will last a very long time. We've got our turmeric in here. This is our 3-layer additive powders. We've got our turmeric. We've got our coconut milk powder and our white kaolin clay. White kaolin clay is good for adding slip to the soap, making the soap bar feel nice and silky. The coconut milk powder adds bubbles to the soap as well as a sweet smell. We've got sugar water. Sugar water is good for adding extra bubbles to the soap as well. So this soap is going to have a lot of really good lather. And we've got our salt. So this is a salt bar. For our Cadence Rose shop, we've got a salt bar and a shampoo and body bar line. That's our main soaps. So there is also a shampoo and body bar version of this soap. But today we're going to be making the salt bar version. And salt bars are really good for making a very hard and long-lasting bar, so it's not going to get mushy or melt in the shower. This soap bar is going to also have a very foamy lather, a very dense, thick lather, because the salt helps build that up. And then also salt is very good for your skin. You know how if you have a sore throat or if you have a wound, you might hear to wash it, gargle with salt water. So salt does the same thing for your skin. It's very good for your skin. So salt is a super ingredient in soap making, so this orange turmeric salt bar is amazing, and I'm not surprised that it is our best-selling soap. People love it. We also have paprika to color the soap. All of my soaps are all natural, so everything from the colors to the additives to the scent is all natural. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to add my additives to my oils first. So I have my orange essential oil that I'm going to add to my bucket over here. This is my 5-gallon bucket of oils and stuff, and I'll bring you in once we start mixing. We've got our additives. I'm going to add these to my oils first so we can get everything blended before I add my lye. So this is my powders I told you about. I'm going to put those in there. And then, like I mentioned, we have our sugar water. So this is just the sugar solution. So this is sugar with some distilled water to make a solution. Hard to open that, but then we just heated this up a little to make a nice syrup. This is a good thick consistency, and this smells so good. The orange in the soap is so refreshing, and it's not too strong, but it's not like super faint to the point where you can't smell it. It is just like the perfect in between. Then we're going to add our salt. So this is the star of the show. This is a very big, heavy bowl of salt that we're going to put all of it in here. Now we're going to blend all of that together in my bucket before we add our lye solution, and then we'll mix our lye solution and get it all thick so we can pour it. So now we're going to take my blender, and I have all of my equipment linked down below in the description if you'd like to grab like my blender, my molds, or my bucket tilter. So you can go check out the description if you'd like to try some of that. So this orange turmeric salt bar is a soap that is not very prone to accelerating or anything like that, but you do want to make sure that you blend it till it is at a good trace, because when you're making a salt bar, you want it to be thick so that the salt doesn't sink to the bottom when you pour it into your mold. So salt bars do not get thick or accelerate super bad or anything like that. Now I've got my lye safety gear on. I'm going to go ahead and pour my lye solution into my oils. I of course always still soap at with very cool temperatures, so about 100 degrees or a little bit below that, just to make sure that everything can go as smooth as possible. Also with salt bars, they are amazing because they do get very hot, but I've never had a salt bar start to volcano or crack in the mold. One thing people tend to think with salt bar recipes is that they are super abrasive or gritty or something like that. Salt bars sometimes can be so smooth that you can barely tell the difference. They have a very good texture, and that's also one of the reasons we blend the salt in before adding our lye, because we feel like it helps the texture even more. But salt bars are super smooth bars of soap. One thing that I'm going to mention as a tip, once you cut your soap, you want to make sure you clean your cutter very well, because salt will rust and deteriorate your wires on your cutters. Make sure you clean your soap cutters after you make your salt soaps as soon as possible. And I do get questions about whether you can make salt soaps in big quantities and cut them. If you do, just make sure you cut it on time. There's no problem you're going to have with cutting it. Well, here are the 2 orange turmeric soaps. So those came out well. I'm happy with how those came out. I'm going to cut those in about 2 hours, and I'll show you the cut and how that looks. So stay tuned for that, and yeah. So I waited about 3 hours to cut the orange turmeric salt bar. So I have to glove up pretty well to make sure to cut this because it's not fully saponified. Plus the salt bars, you have to cut them so early, they are hot. So I had to glove up, I cut my slab, and then I cut my loaf. The soap bars came out really good, and then of course, after a couple days, it fully saponified and the color brightened. And so I'm going to show you a little lather test, and the lather on this soap is amazing. I love how it smells, and it doesn't bleed. The soap doesn't bleed or anything like that. And the turmeric is so good for your skin, and it has just a beautiful color and a beautiful scent. So I'm so happy with how this soap came out. I hope you guys either give it a try. I have a soap recipe similar to this in my soap recipe playlist, or you can check this soap out on my shop, cadencerosecode.com. So I'm adding this to the video a couple of days later, but I wanted to say thank you and welcome to all of the new subscribers, and I'm glad you are here. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and supporting me and my business, and also of course thank you to all of the people who have been here since the beginning. All of your support means the world to me. I wouldn't be able to do this without your support, your views, your comments, your likes. All of your support is so amazing. So thank you to the Posies for supporting the channel, for commenting, for everything, and I appreciate all of you, no matter if you joined yesterday or if you joined in 2023. So thank you guys for being here, and I really appreciate you all. I'll see you guys in the next video.